section 2, and there is only one lesson in section 2, and what we're taking a look at is time management and organizational skills. I know that for a lot of you, by the time you get to high school, your time is really precious. There is a lot of work on your shoulders, there is a lot of pressure, and you struggle a lot of times to get everything done that you need to get done. And this is when your time management is so vitally important. If you're not managing your time, you're going to find that everything is going to start becoming very overwhelming. You're not going to find time to fit things in. There are going to be last minute rushes. So this section is really, really important. As soon as you learn to manage your time sufficiently, and as soon as you learn to manage it correctly, you then start freeing up time for yourself, and then you find that you have time in the day to do things that you love as well.
And the way that we learn to juggle all of this is by learning how to use your time well. How do we do that? Well, the first thing is our planning, which we're going to be getting to a little bit later. But in your planning, you need to incorporate everything, and that includes any academic or schoolwork that you have, all the way through to making time for sporting or exercise activities, and very importantly, also making time for yourself. Me time is really important because that is what keeps you emotionally imbalanced. If you don't have time for yourself, you become emotionally imbalanced, and that will then start impacting on your academic results. The next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that there's flexibility to your planning. Things crop up in your life. So as well as you can plan, things can come along that can set all your plans on fire. Okay? You can get sick, and now suddenly you need to catch up all this work. So you need to find time in your planning for work catch-up time. You could be on your way home and get a flat tire, so everything you plan to do that afternoon now suddenly falls by the wayside. So you're going to have to rejuggle your planning in order to make time for the work that you missed that afternoon. But just understand that once you got it in your head that your planning needs to be flexible, and that things do come up, but you don't panic, that we just reorganize your plan if something has happened to throw your plans out. The next thing is time constraints. Now what we do is we work with our time constraints, not against time constraints. And the way that we work with time constraints is by planning everything that we do in our monthly planner, which we're going to be coming to right now. The next thing you want to do is you want to practice something called clumping. Now clumping means putting tasks together. So for example, say you've got a reading assignment that you need to do for the next day. Choose to bath rather than shower that day, because what you can do is you can do a reading when you're in the bath, putting two things together at once. You need to learn the chemical symbols on the periodic table, or maybe recite them while you're busy doing your chores. If you clump things together, then obviously you begin to save time and start freeing up time in other places. The next one is a big thing. Don't procrastinate. Procrastination is the biggest time guzzler ever. You get home and you're like, oh, I just want to watch this program. Oh, I'll just quickly play this game. Oh, I just want to quickly read this article. And before you know it, you've wasted 3 hours. You've had 3 hours of unproductive time in your afternoon. So make sure that when you get home, you have lunch, you sit down, you take out your planner, and you get going straight away. The last thing is completion. Make sure you complete all tasks that you set out to do. If you don't complete it, what happens is that just builds onto something that you need to do the next day. And then if the next day you don't complete something, that builds onto the next day's work. And all this then just accumulates work until you have that overwhelming feeling of that you're not going to be able to cope. Alright guys, now we're going to take a look at this monthly planner that I've been talking about. Now in this monthly planner, you want to put in absolutely everything you have planned for that month, and that includes any sporting activity, it includes academics, and it includes social engagements. So anything that crops up, you put down on your monthly planner. So you can see, for the example, we've put in that on the Thursday there's a soccer match, and then on the Friday there is a maths test. Going over onto the weekend, there's Granny's birthday on Sunday, and then on Monday we have the science project. Now what you do is you work with your weekly planner or daily planner, and you open it up and you compare it to your monthly planner. So you take a look and go, okay, I've got a maths test on Friday, but I've got that soccer match on the Thursday. So that means that I am going to have to make sure that I learn from my maths test on the Wednesday, which means Thursday, all I need to do is revise something that maybe I found a bit difficult, so I will revise my quadratic equations on the Thursday. Also, if you go back and you take a look, you can see, oh, I've got a science project due on the Monday, but Granny's birthday is on the Sunday. So now I need to make sure that I get everything planned before that Sunday. So that means Friday, I'm going to be completing my science diagrams with my science project. And on Saturday, I'm going to take a look at my science project, and I'm going to edit everything, and I'm going to make sure that I do the neat copy, which means it frees me up to have a whale of a time on Granny's birthday on Sunday. So using your monthly planner, it puts everything in place that you have got, and then you use your weekly planner to put in all your activities so that you make sure that you've got time for everything. Weekly planner, I suggest that you write in pencil because of the flexibility that we were talking about. So if anything crops up, if anything happens, you can just rub out what you've put for that day and place it somewhere else on your weekly planner. So guys, that is it for the time management and organization skills, and I will see you in the next section. Cheers for now.